Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm joined by Lucy Noonan, who is head of checkbooks at Lomond Capital. Why is everyone going absolutely crazy at the moment for acquisitions? I mean, you guys, you've spent in excess of £100 million in the last few years. Deep pockets. Why is this? Talk to me.
I think the lettings landscape has really changed over the last 2-3 years. I think we are moving more into a regulated industry, which I, for one, think is really important. But there's so much change, and for independent agents to just keep on track with that, I think has become quite demotivating. And I think you're either an estate agent or you're a letting agent. Someone really 20 years ago when I first went into the industry said to me, estate agency is like a one-night stand and lettings is a long-term relationship. And I think that's really, I know that's quite crude, but it's quite real and quite sensible really, that estate agency, there's a clear end goal. And lettings, you're constantly having to work with that landlord and constantly having to keep up to date with change.
I mean, are the people who are selling at the moment, is it estate agents selling their lettings book, or is it just lettings agents getting out of the business?
Both. So I am seeing more of an increase in people wanting to just sell their lettings book to purely focus on estate agency. I think also that's because of the boom, because of everything that's happening at the moment. They're seeing lettings as a hindrance and they just want to focus on their core area. But a lot of the acquisitions over the last 5 to 10 years has been retirement, but now we're seeing a lot more that people are wanting to go into the financial services sector, or they're wanting to focus on sales, or they just want to move industries and they've just had enough.
But surely this is the mistake that people made in 2008, when the housing market went belly up, it was the lettings books that saved them. Now they've got these lettings books. I mean, I know you obviously want them you want to buy them. I mean, you've got deep pockets, but surely they're cutting their nose off to spite their face, aren't they?
Well, not necessarily, because if you're not, you've got to get out of bed and enjoy your job, haven't you?
Yes, you have.
And I think at the moment you either are a lettings professional or an estate agency professional, and I think in lettings, it is changing and it is becoming more regulated. And there's some quite frightening. You can go to prison for some things if you don't get it right. And I think that kind of threat as well is making people question: do I actually really want to have this business? And a lot of letting agents that have had a business for a long time, they don't, again, we said before, they don't work actually in the business day to day, but they own it. They take that full responsibility. They don't want to take it.
Do you think it's a way for people to cash out, almost partly cash out, realise some of the equity that's in their business?
Absolutely. And, I would say that at the moment, the acquirers that are out there are paying probably more than they would pay 3-4 years ago.
Because let's be honest, prices were really, really good when the likes of Countrywide and LSL had huge checkbooks.
Yeah.
Then we had the tenant fee ban, and obviously we all know what happened with Countrywide's checkbook. Did prices drop, and then they've come back now?
Yeah.
You're back in writing checks like video.
Yeah, absolutely. And that change for the last 3 years, there's those people that were naturally going to exit that now are right, it's time, I'm going to exit.
And I'm assuming that you're not just the only player in town. There must be some other people with some other equally big checkbooks. I mean, I know you're not going to mention any names, but, are people getting damn good prices for them? Are you having to pay top dollar?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for us, we're very strategic in where we want to buy and what type of businesses we want to acquire. But, I've been working in acquisitions for a long time, and I get contacted quite a lot from people that I know in the industry saying, look, this agent down the road I think is going to sell. Can you give me some advice? So there's also, I think, people are focusing on companies like the Lomond Group and other large corporates, but there's also a lot of acquisitions happening independent agent to independent agent. Just last week, there's 2 independent agents that have merged together to join forces. So again, I think we are definitely seeing the landscape of the industry changing. It's not just about lots of little one-man bands.
And are you finding agents are approaching you, or are they going through those agencies that sell the business?
Brokers,
or are you actually approaching people yourself, or all the above?
Yeah, so that has really changed. I don't know whether that's because I used to work at LSL and now I've moved to the Lomond Group. It used to probably, I'd say 80% of our leads used to come from broker. brokers. Now it's very much relationship led. So sellers are coming to us direct, and we are going directly and targeting those people, but we're not sending touting letters. Most letting agents will get a letter every week saying, I want to buy your business. You know, for us, regionally, we've got CEOs in each area, and they know the businesses that they want to acquire, and they've got a relationship with them. So it very much is now we're not probably using brokers as much. I mean, we've got some deals in the pipeline that have come from brokers, but not much.
Myself, I used to work for one of the large, bigger agents who were on the acquisition trail, and I noticed that if you could build a relationship up with the owner, you'd get it for a cheaper price.
Absolutely. Sometimes. Well, I think ethically that's not what we want to do, but you want to have relationships with people. And also
because landlords because they want someone to look after their babies, which is their landlords.
Yeah, so in fact, only 2 weeks ago, we there was a bid for a business, and actually we were the lowest. We bid the lowest, but we still got the acquisition because they knew that the brand it was going into and that the staff would look after. And I think it's important as well that as an acquirer, it's really important to appreciate that this business is the owner's life. They've built this business up.
It's their baby.
It's absolutely their baby. And I think one thing that I think sometimes acquirers need to appreciate is that relationship that I have with the seller. You know, I've had tears. I've been invited to weddings from sellers. You know, I go on that journey with them. You know, there's highs and there's lows. And just before you're about to complete, it is really emotional because this is something that you've done your whole life. And, you know, choosing an acquirer that's going to actually understand that and come on that journey with you is really important.
So what do you do differently at Lomond that others don't then?
Have a relationship with the seller and don't sit behind a purchase agreement. You know, we're quite commercial. If there's a sticking point that two solicitors are having arguing over a certain indemnity or a warranty, we just get an all-party call together. Let's get on and let's talk about it. And commercially, what is the risk? And move forward. Some acquisitions can take, months. Our average acquisition turnaround at the moment is 5 to 6 weeks. And that is just because we're open and upfront and we're honest. And if there's an issue, we'll come to you with that issue, but we'll look for a solution. We won't try and bat you over the head with it.
Thank you for your time today, Lucy.
Thank you.